got no food, they got no clothes, they got no rest. Well, right now it's time for hemp.
Thank you for taking Time for Hemp. I'm your host, Casper Leitch. You are listening to Time for Hemp all around the world on Tumblr, SoundCloud, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and all kinds of wonderful, groovy outlets that share information and social networking all on the internet. Also, I want to remind you that iTunes is now carrying Time for Hemp. So those of you who have Apple devices, you can find us in your iTunes store and download us. We've also got a Google Plus app for those of you who have Androids and want to check us out on your smartphones and your tablets as well. And not only do we have a Roku TV network on the Roku Broadcasting Network, the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network is also on iHeartRadio, and iHeartRadio is now on Roku TV. So you can either watch Time for Hemp's videos on the Roku TV channel. You can go to our website and get the Roku code to put into your Roku device to watch the network. Or if you want to, just find iHeartRadio, and just like everything else with your iHeart, if you've got us listed as part of your programming, you'll be able to enjoy us on Roku TV. We are growing, and it's nice to know that people out there appreciate all of our hard work. Skunk Magazine is now broadcasting on the network along with Mark Emery on his show. And I do encourage people to share us with your friends. It is Thursday, and on Thursday we put a spotlight on some of the amazing things that go on here in America. I think you can hear my dog in the background. Real excited as well. Can't wait to share the news that Lynnette Shaw has had a big victory in the court systems. And most often or not, on Thursdays, we have Paul Stanford as our joint host. And Paul keeps us up to date as well as some of the important activities in the marijuana movement because he is so busy making things happen there. Paul, what's going on now in the marijuana movement that would be groovy for our audience to be aware of?
Well, one of the biggest things that's happened in the past couple weeks is the federal court in California has ruled that the Rohrabacher-Alfaro bill that took funding away from the DEA for imposing the federal law on medical marijuana patients and dispensaries in California is invalid. And one of the first dispensaries in California is the Marin Alliance for Medical Marijuana, and its founder, Lynnette Shaw, led the charge in fighting various federal agencies for some time, both the DEA and the IRS and the whole federal government came down on poor Lynnette Shaw's head, and she came out the winner. And that is one of the biggest stories for the past couple of weeks in Canada. It's been a big couple of weeks, but fortunately, you've got Lynnette Shaw right here on the show.
I sure do, and she is going to let us know about the wonderful path that she took to make all that happen. Right, Lynnette?
That's right. I'm very happy to be back with my friends and family, and I had to go dark on the media there for a while because the agents were following me everywhere, and I couldn't be around anyone or talk to anyone. It was really awful.
Well, I've got to also state that people did also treat you like you were a plague these past couple of years, even when you did reach out to try to be friendly and try to associate. Those people who were your friends in the past suddenly acted like they didn't even know you. So that's that's true.
Many people, but there was some like you and a handful of others that always believed in me and loved me and never turned your head from me. And I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So why don't you let people know what the deal happened?
Well, 18 years ago, it actually all started. President Clinton and Janet Reno sued the 6 pot clubs that were open at the time in 1998. It was January 1998. We had been licensed. It was the first license actually in the entire nation in 1997, and we held the only license for 8 years in all of the U.S. So when they sued the Federal Six, it was Oakland, Ukiah, myself, Dennis's place, and 2 other dispensaries. Dennis and the 2 others closed right away, and Ukiah, Oakland, and the Mill-Alliance stayed open to try to defend our rights. I had the only license, and so when it came down to it, I had a right to appeal that went beyond the rights of people who did not have a business license, which is interesting because we had a municipal law. So I was able to appeal this injunction they slapped on me and Jeff, and actually my friend in Ukiah, who unfortunately passed away of her illness, so that went away. Ukiah CBC's no more. But Jeff has been closed since 1998, but I had the right to appeal because of municipal law and the town of Fairfax and my license and my use permit. I had a piece of property with the use permit, so I had the right to appeal. So we appealed and appealed and appealed. And this is why we were able to stay open despite the injunction, the innocent are proven guilty. And we stayed open for 15 years and proved that the dispensary system worked. After 8 years, other government bodies stepped up and started licensing dispensaries because it's a system that works. And this, I think, is why the feds were so upset with me, because they couldn't figure out how to close me down because I had rights. You know? I learned everything I never wanted to know about property rights and use permits and municipal law and civil law and federal civil law. Oh, my goodness. I had wonderful legal help to my lead attorney, Greg Anton. I had a lot of help from ACLU attorneys. Sam Johnston was another wonderful attorney who stepped up to the plate and worked for months. Still with no pay because, of course, I've been flat broke for 4 years, and I'm even on welfare still. So it's been tough. Food stamps. And it's been a long, terrible haul. However, after they took my landlord's rights, he had to settle to not lose his land forever, which is our beautiful plaza that we were on for 15 years. And then they threatened me and said that if I worked in the industry ever again with this injunction, that they would arrest whoever was hiring me. And I could not work anywhere in the nation for the rest of my life in my chosen profession. So I had to disappear down to Los Angeles for after 2 years. But I couldn't stay around Fairfax anymore because the agents kept following me, making sure that I wasn't selling pot. And so nobody wanted to associate with me. I had these guys on my tail for a long time. And then I fled to Los Angeles, where I disappeared into the underground, and I had a lot of friends down there, so I shot out to Southern California for hiding Lynnette. I have some friends there that helped me, and I was able to survive a little bit longer. And there's a very bad problem when dispensaries are moving out of the underground. And then the recreational underground has turned very dangerous and organized crime and shootings and thugs and thieves, and it's much more dangerous now that the dispensaries have been able to move out of the underground. And there's no place for someone like me working in that terrible area. And this is why the drug war has got to end. They've turned a healing herb into something to have gang wars over. And that's crazy. And I didn't do very well in L.A., and I don't belong in the underground, and I worked like crazy to get out of the underground. So I came home, and I've been on welfare, surviving. My house got vandalized when I was gone, but we've got a bunch of people living here to help me pay the rent, or the mortgage, actually, so I'm still in housing. Wow. I didn't deserve this. It's been very sad and awful. So this is one of the reasons I didn't want to go and complain in the media, because I did not wish to scare the movement into, safety in numbers. Open up those clubs. Get those governments on your side, because the feds cannot be everywhere. And that was also why I stayed out of the media, because I didn't want to scare the movement into stopping, because what happened to me. it took them a long time to beat me up like they did, you know? So I figured if everybody had 15 years on the ground, then I'm not going to be able to close this, you know? So now that the law changed, I contacted my attorneys who have been hoping for some law change to help me. And they were willing to go forward because of the good possibility that Congress would stick to their guns and stop allowing them to spend money on this. And we were right. And in fact, when we alerted Rohrabacher and Farr about the arguments Jay were using to prosecute me, which is basically we don't have to obey Congress, we're going to do this anyway, they hit the ceiling and called in the DOJ Inspector General, who's the top cop of the top cops. And he has the power to arrest Loretta Lynch for violating any federal law. So it's a felony now to deficit spend when a federal agency has been barred from spending. It's actually illegal and a felony for them to continue to prosecute or seize our asset forfeiture, and all that is out, according to Congress. And when they refuse to obey this, they called in the Inspector General, who's now breathing down the neck of every federal prosecutor in the nation in the 32 states that were specified. So no medical marijuana cases can be prosecuted because of our decision. And I'm very, very proud and happy and honored to bring in a home run for the team. You know? This is really important. It's saving me, and it's going to save all my godchildren and everybody in the movement from the terrible, ridiculous, unfair, and unconstitutional federal slaughter. So I'm tired, and I'm happy, and I'm relieved, and I got a lot of work to do. But it's wonderful, and everybody's very happy too. I get cheers from all over the nation, all over the world. I've been getting emails from everywhere saying, "Oh, girl."
Well, yeah. You sure went through a lot. That is for sure, Paul. I know you got a couple of things you want to put into the conversation here.
Sure. So, tell us about debacle with the IRS. I know you've been fighting them tooth and nail as well in the midst of this federal assault.
Oh, yeah. Yes. The IRS initially removed all my tax deductions after 15 years of advising me otherwise to take normal tax deductions. I did. I paid all my taxes just like they said, filed everything, blah, 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 you know. And then they suddenly removed my tax deductions and handed me this enormous bill for $10.5 million. They removed the cost of product. And they removed the cost of everything else to run the business. $10.5 million. Yes, $10.5 million.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is. And, I mean, no one wants to get a bill like that, believe me. So my wonderful tax
is that you don't have that in the bank, right?
Yeah. Well, they confiscated I had a few grand in the bank. That was it, you know. But let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you, yeah, a couple, maybe $1,500, you know.
That's a little bit less than $1,500. So yeah. Like 1/1000th. No, 1/10,000th of $10.5 million. You've got little less than 1/10,000th of $1.5 million.
Let me tell you what happened to this bill. Let me tell you what happened to this bill. This is where we saved all the growers in here in California anyway. Is that we challenged my tax attorney, David Hellman, and everybody used him for taxes, right? Nice conservative San Rafael establishment attorney who had liked me as a client just for a challenge and never seen a client abused so badly by the IRS in his 35 years of professional tax attorney. He went in and he fought like a tiger for us. And he won a concession from the IRS tax court that under California state law and under federal law that the patient growers have the right to be remunerated for their crop by the dispensary or by the collective that was purchasing the medicine. And they took $7 million off our bill, and now across the nation the IRS will allow cost of product in the dispensary system. So we won that for our people also. But then I got stuck with, a few more $1 million, so they seized my Social Security savings in my lifetime, which wasn't nearly that much, but I got zero. And then they realized
so
that I had
they aren't
nothing.
giving you any Social Security checks?
No, I don't have Social Security. And I'll never be able to claim it because they took it all from the age 16 till 2014. It's gone. So I have no retirement at all. And they really did. They did this to me when no one else got this. And so that's another reason why the judge felt that they were violating my rights under the Constitution, which they did.
Amen.
Yeah. So I've got to work, really hard so that I can, not lay in the gutter when I'm 75. But I'm kicking hard, and I'm in good health. I think my mental health has improved tremendously since October 17th, I tell you what.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I've got people wanting to invest, and someone gave me a car. I haven't had a car in 2 years, they repossessed the last one. And,
all right.
So I'm a little bit better than I was, but I'm still swimming in the deep end here. So the IRS declared my case temporarily closed because of inability to collect because I'm on welfare. So I have to go and get a lawyer and negotiate with them. But they know that I'm just dead in water, not even Social Security. And, you can only kick a dead horse so long. So we're going to negotiate with them, and it's not going to be, I've got to start all over. But that's okay. I'm Fed-proof. Fed-proof. That's my new slogan.
It's, sometimes starting all over can be the best thing that ever happened. But,
yeah.
While you're going through it, it doesn't seem that way.
Oh, my goodness. Well, ever since we won on the 17th, I'm very hopeful about everything. And that's great because I had no idea what I would do. I don't have skills, I'm the world's best medical marijuana knowledge base, and I can sing hella good, but that's about it. I mean, computers, forget it.
So are you going to be able to get your space going and get going again, or if somebody's giving you a car, but do you have the backing you need to be able to set up a business again? That's
a lot of people
right?
are calling me up. I'm meeting with investors. I'm meeting with lawyers. I'm meeting with activists. I'm setting up volunteers or jumping up here around people that have always loved me and were too scared to know what to do and just ran off. Some of them were just scared, and some of them were malicious. The malicious ones we can forget about. And people are weird, For the longest time, they were jealous of me having this license, the only one in the nation. And they didn't understand I was in court 29 times a year with the Fed fighting it for the first couple of years. I went to court over 100 times. Over 100 times over this license. 18 years we fought because we upheld states' rights. We held up the Constitution. We held up our medical rights. And times have changed. Congress is seeing that marijuana cures cancer because the dispensary system has worked, And so my little brainchild there has expanded to 60,000 licensed dispensaries plus across the nation. Those are all my godchildren proving that cancer is killed by cannabis, and seizures are stopped by CBD. We already knew this. We were selling CBD oil back in 1998. We called it pain oil and made it out of the Mexican type,
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that's got the high CBD. So we were making CBD oil available to patients for seizures since 1998.
Mm-hmm.
So we also have a wonderful experience with tens of thousands of patients, and I'm hoping I can bring my knowledge base to the people. So we're talking about maybe doing a lecture tour. I'm looking for a backer for a lecture tour. It'll be a lot more interesting, because now we can call it how we won the war. And what to do about caring for your friends, you know?
Yeah.
It's been pretty wild. So I am looking for the right set of investors to back me on, you know, the new Marin Alliance. I'm negotiating about a bunch of things right now. Everybody wants to get one of theirs in their town, which I think, you know, might possibly happen. But first I got to reopen in Fairfax. And first I have to find some, you know, a couple of good silent partners that will let me follow my plan, because my plan is working. Unless the feds come in and cheat. That's all the exciting news I got now.
Well, as far as having a silent partner, well, that's something that we never want to hear on our network is silence. But because we are a broadcasting network, but we are going to take a commercial break here and pay our bills, and then we're going to listen to a song about how fantastic marijuana is, and then we're going to come back and pick up where we left off here.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here on Time for Hemp. I'm so happy to be able to talk to the media again and talk to my friends and hang out. So keep hanging out and listening to Time for Hemp.
Listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
THCF Medical Clinics are the premier physicians clinic in the United States. THCF has offices all across the United States from Hawaii to Michigan. THCF Medical Clinics has helped approximately 150,000 patients obtain their medical marijuana permits to legally possess, grow, and use medical marijuana. If you have chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, or any other neurological degenerative disease, or if you have any gastrointestinal disorders such as GERD, irritable bowel syndrome, or if you have AIDS, cancer, spastic disorders, seizure disorders, or glaucoma, call us at 1-800-723-0188 or visit us online at hemp.org. Again, the number is 1-800-723-0188 and the site is hemp.org.
Smoke. As some wicked high grade or some gum made up and impress. You want to lick? See the chalice happy burn. Begin happy burn. Turn. Keep the ganja pipe burning. The good sense to me, I'm on yearning. I ganja man, they put you stiff in the air. And I wear it like you just don't care. When me sing again, keep the ganja pipe burning. The good sense to me, I'm on yearning. I ganja man, they put you stiff in the air. And I wear it like you just don't care. Turn. Weekday, yes, me have to crap it. Say it's a bad habit, but it make me fly like a rocket. Too much of anything will make you an addict. Yes, me feel stressed when me no have it. Come on, girl, I look good like Playboy Bunny Rapid. She smelling 250 back me having in me pocket. 2 slip chicken, want me pluck in her socket. Under me Guinness and me weak, me a walk it, yo. Keep the ganja pipe burning. The good sense to me, I'm on yearning. A ganja man, they put you stiff in the air. And I wear it like you just don't care. Shiny man, I sing. Keep the ganja pipe burning. The good sense to me, I'm on yearning. A ganja man, they put you stiff in the air. And I wear it like you just don't care. Roll Rude boy from overseas, we no care, we no matter. This we be get flatter, man, a real tapper. Big Mac, double whopper, original showstopper. No say man another whopper, but can't say man another shatter. Light up we big it, make it bone down proper. On the time the real rude boy used to real chopper. This the king blow, your head pan a platter. Smoke a split and relax, man, you too lapa lapa. Keep the ganja pipe burning. The good sense to me, your man yearning. A ganja man, they put you spliff in the air.
And I wear it like you just don't care.
Who don't feel listen me? Keep the ganja pipe burning. The good sense to me, your man yearning. A ganja man, they put you spliff in the air.
And I wear it like you just don't care.
Blaze up the fire, keep it burning. 24/7, 365, we keep it alive. Blaze up the fire, keep it burning.
24/7, 365,
we keep it alive. When me light up me chalice, tell me don't fear no malice. I'm a trouble and gone. When me light up the band, in a Buckingham Palace. Good for every Tom, Dick and Harris. Good for every Michelle and Alice. From London to New York to Paris. Ganja make you feel good and spin like Ferraris. Room. Let the Rastafaris. China man a real ganja man, me now go parry no cigarettes, no. Keep the ganja pipe burning. The good sense to me, your man yearning. A ganja man, they put you spliff in the air.
And I wear it like you just don't care.
China man a sing. Keep the ganja pipe burning. The good sense to me, your man yearning. A ganja man, they put you spliff in the air.
And I wear it like you just don't care.
Blaze up the fire, keep it burning. 24/7, 365, we keep it alive. Blaze up the fire, keep it burning.
24/7, 365,
we keep it alive. Keep the ganja pipe burning. For good sense to me, your man yearning. A ganja man, they put you spliff in the air.
And I wear it like you just don't care.
When me sing again, keep the ganja pipe burning. For good sense to me, your man yearning. A ganja man, they put you spliff in the air.
And I wear it like you just don't care.
That was Chin. You've been listening to Chin on the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. And that song is called Keep It Burning, which Lynnette Shaw has been doing. She has kept it burning and smoldering, and now the fire can no longer be contained. Isn't that right, Lynnette?
Boy, oh boy, we are burning the torch of freedom pretty brightly here in Fairfax, to tell you what. And it's an astonishing victory, and it was a long shot, but I had faith all along that we had done everything right, and the timing was right. You know, the political atmosphere was right, because, you know, the Republicans are starting to realize this medical marijuana thing has something to do with killing cancer, and gee, by the way, we're spending billions of dollars killing something that stops cancer. What the hell is that? You know? Republicans get cancer too, I guess, you know? So they are actually the heroes in this, because they led the bill to defund the DOJ and the DEA, and they also passed the bill, the Anti-Deficiency Act, which makes it a felony to take money and spend it in a deficit, you know? So if you are not allowed to spend the money now, it is a felony to do that, as well as stealing the people's money to do what they're not supposed to do. Okay. So that's why Section 538, the Rohrabacher-Farr Amendment, is so powerful and has caused this slaughter of dispensaries to stop nationwide in the 32 states that were specified. Next year, we're going to have 40 states, because the activists, yay activists, go team, there's 40 medical marijuana states next year. Okay? So they're going to amend the congressional 538 to 542 and add more states and hemp. Next year, they will not have money to go after hemp in America. This is big news, you guys. And I'm glad to break it on Time for Hemp.
Now, do you mean hemp or do you mean medical marijuana again?
No. They have added the Republican senators, Laura Bacher, and Democrats are bipartisan on this bill, have added 8 more states for 2016 to be protected by this defunding, and they've added hemp crops in the states that are legal. That's why there's 40 states, because they're including the hemp states.
No, I just had to ask, 'cause I know how you medical marijuana activists are. You think everything's medical marijuana, and it's not.
No, I'm a hemp. I'm a hemp activist first and foremost.
All right.
I met Jack before I met Dennis Perone.
All right.
And you know that.
Right.
Okay, because you were there.
Right.
I called you. I called Jack, and I got you.
Okay, yeah, that happened to a lot of people back then. It happened to Mark Emery, but I also know that there are hemp activists who just seem to put it all into one big ball of wax, and then that's not the case. So I wanted to make sure.
Yes, we're going to be able to grow hemp in the states that have authorized hemp growing without federal interference, just like the dispensaries won their freedom. The hemp farmers have won their freedom also. And they're strengthening 538 for next year. And it's already in the works. It's already been approved by the Republican Appropriations Committee.
Right.
Republican-led. It's a bipartisan committee. And so it's on the deck, and they want to not have a government shutdown in December. So I think we're going to approve the budget here shortly, which means that the final approval means that now the hemp is safe too, and we can start growing hemp as Jack wanted us to anywhere that is allowed, which I think is all the medical marijuana states now have hemp provisions somewhere pending. No federal interference. So, yay!
Well, I know Paul's all excited about growing hemp, and you're doing that, aren't you, Paul?
Well, I think that the whole low THC paradigm is a hoodwink. It's just an excuse to allow the petrochemical, pharmaceutical, military, industrial, transnational, corporate elite, bastard sons of bitches to continue the discrimination against hemp to replace petroleum. When we can grow high THC hemp with a lot bigger and better buds and seeds, then we can displace petroleum, because high THC hemp makes 20 times more seeds per land area than low THC, what I like to call dwarf hemp. But that's another one of the battles in our war here, is to free hemp for our planet. And so I met Jack before I met Dennis as well. So I first met Jack back in 1982 when I was down in Los Angeles trying to get on trivia game shows, because I am quite trivial, but I was trying to get on trivia game shows, and I looked in the Yippie magazine Overthrow, which I was a contact for up in Washington State at the time, and I found Captain Ed Adair and stayed at his head shop, and he introduced me to Jack shortly thereafter.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yep. So
Rich called up Jack when Casper was working with him.
Yep. Yeah, that's how I met Casper in 1990. I met Jack in 1990 in Occidental, Sonoma County, because I'd been busted for pot. And I was staying with some friends, and they said, well, this guy was hemp. And I said, what's hemp? Well, you like pot? Well, yeah, I like pot. Well, it's like pot, but it's not. It's called hemp. I said, never heard of it before. So we went to this lecture, and my eyes were open, believe me. And I talked to Jack, and he gave me a book, and I read the book in 3 days and called down there because all of a sudden I wasn't crazy anymore. I was right. Pot was good for me, and this is, and I needed to know about this hemp thing. That's how I met Casper a few days afterwards over the phone. And I've been a goner for hemp ever since. I went to jail for pot. And came out and started working in the movement, Free to Herb. And looks like we have, at least, big step forward.
Yes, you have. And I also appreciate you writing the song to the Time for Hemp television series as well.
Yeah. I was very inspired by you, working with you at that Hall of Flowers thing there in '91, and I wrote their theme song that's still being played to this day.
Yep.
And I like the funky version, and I like the news guy version. You know. And I've been threatening to make my own new version one of these days, but I still like the old version so much I haven't.
So what's next for you?
I'm singing. I got a band, Bluesetta band.
Yeah,
I'm doing some singing.
I was going to ask you,
if I don't have a job, I might as well have a band. You know what I mean?
I was going to ask you what's next for you. Are you touring with your music, or are you opening up the dispensary? Are you doing both, or what?
I'm doing both. I put the band together since I had so much free time and couldn't find a job anywhere. So I might as well sing the blues. And we did a couple of concerts for the cause, you know. And now I'm looking at doing some local nightclubs because there's a wonderful music scene here in Marin County. And I have some terrific musicians that are just pumping out some rock and roll. And now I have the opportunity to reopen my club, so I'm working on that every day. And I'm also working on booking the band because when it rains, it pours.
Right.
And so I don't have any bookings, I don't have any clubs, so I've got a lot of work to do.
Well, one thing that we got to do here is take a commercial break again and pay our bills. And we'll be right back in just about 1 minute here at Time for Hemp. You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
Serious Seeds is your source for quality cannabis and sativa seeds. Serious Seeds are the creators of legendary strains like AK-47, Bubblegum, Chronic, Cali Mist, and White Russian. The AK-47 is probably the most awarded strain on the planet. The high THC content of AK-47 makes it the perfect medical strain for patients seeking quick pain relief. Cali Mist is an almost pure sativa. Female medical cannabis patients have reported that this strain helps relieve menstrual cramps. Serious Seeds just acquired another Dutch high-quality seed bank, Magus Genetics. From now on, Serious Seeds can offer you even more award-winning strains. The fine folks at Serious Seeds strive to breed the best cannabis genetics that they can find, so patients can rely on the effectiveness of their medicine. Go to SeriousSeeds.com to grow your medicine. That site again is SeriousSeeds.com.
Well, now, chocolate cake makes my poor stomach ache, and all those pills are too much for me to take. I don't like cocaine 'cause it makes me all uptight, but coffee and reefer makes me feel alright. Crystal meth will make you high, and it's
I do love coffee and reefer. It is how I start my day. I mean, it's just the best way to open your eyes and say, hello, world, I am here, and I feel good. And I would encourage you out there, if you're waking up all blue and glum and sad and boo-hooey, well, first of all, fire up a joint first thing in the morning. It will give you a new attitude. And if it doesn't, then maybe you should get therapy. Anyway, those of you who can't do that, as Dean Martin once said, well, I feel sorry for you. When I get up in the morning and smoke a joint, I feel great. And when you wake up in the morning, that's the best you're going to feel all day. With that said, I will pass this joint conversation back to my joint host and our joint guest here on the Big Joint Broadcast. Don't forget, anytime you hear the word joint on the Big Joint Broadcast, nearly 2.5 million people all around the world pack a bong, a pipe, a vaporizer, or roll up a joint and take Time for Hemp. Now, with that said, I'm going to kick back here in the joint, smoke a joint while you guys have your joint chat here on Time for Hemp. Paul.
Oh, Casper, I love you.
Paul, I'm getting old. My joints hurt.
Oh, you're crazy too. Oh. Well,
anyway,
I'm here in Fairfax. Loving it today.
What?
I'm here in Fairfax, loving life again. Got my big dog.
Fairfax in beautiful Marin County.
Yes.
For those people around the world who don't know, that's part of the Bay, the famous San Francisco Bay.
Yep. We're very close to the ocean also. So we have that little touch of salt air that's so good for your plants. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And I'm looking out the window of my canyon, from the side of a canyon, and all I see is trees everywhere, and the sky is blue as blue can be. And I'm so blessed and so happy to have survived and to be able to have the opportunity to reopen our heirloom dispensary, the founding mothership there. You know, so I can't really disclose a lot of details yet. It's all in process, and I got to tread lightly and delicately to make everybody happy. But it's a wonderful thing, and I'm again available to be a resource of knowledge. I have so much knowledge I wish to pass along. You know, I work with, as a medical social worker. I've worked with 50,000, 75,000 individual cases over the last 20, 30 years. And I know what strains absolutely help certain different illnesses. You know, that's, I think, probably my best contribution to medical knowledge at this point, is I know what strains that I was out hunting for to stop the glaucoma. I know what strains would stop the seizure. I know, I used to make the brownies, the special pain brownies that were for stopping seizures. We made out of the Mexican type, which is all high CBD, you know. So we were making separate brownies for seizure patients, and we're making separate brownies, indica brownies, for the pain patients, and, and separate brownies for appetite stimulation, sativa. You know, so I have a wonderful knowledge base, and I'm ready to bring it to everybody and stop so much pain and anxiety and marijuana peace. You know, that was my slogan when I ran for lieutenant governor: marijuana peace, not war. And that is what we are bringing: is marijuana peace. And it's about time, because we got a lot of healing to do, and we got a lot of medicine to make. You know, and I need to guide and direct the lab people with the knowledge that I know, so they can stabilize these strains and make sure people don't go blind. We stop people from going blind with the strains that we've discovered work. You know, so let's do that. You know,
that's like a biblical miracle, right?
Yeah, a biblical miracle. And I have 50 glaucoma patients whose sight was endangered, and many lost their sight when we closed, and they couldn't get that strain anymore. You know?
I have seen MS patients who literally went blind regain their sight from using cannabis.
Yes, they regained the ability to walk and write and speak and not have symptoms and have a normal life. You know? It's amazing. It's a miracle. And I saw this miracle, so many thousands and thousands and thousands of times. And I have a knowledge for the world that they need to know. And now that I've been unmuzzled and taken out of the basket of shame, they put me in the pit, you know. And then they wanted names. I haven't told you about the big light in the corner with the chair with the federal agent trying to extract names and addresses out of me. We'll go easy on it. 3 different agencies at 3 different times try to extract names and addresses of gardeners, and flyers. It's pretty heavy.
Well, I want to thank you for standing strong in the face of Babylon as it attempted to destroy you. And
man.
I'm so happy to see you come out the other end of that. There's so many people, so many families that have been destroyed in the name of a squeaky clean America, where we're all, Wonder Bread, white bread, kind of homogenous clones of Father Knows Best or something for the 50s.
It was set up to be perpetual war. They knew that it would never work, but it was a way to control society and make money for the prison-industrial complex. We're now dismantling 50% of the prisoners in every county jail in the nation are pot people. Wake up. Half. That's half their income. So we're taking their income away, so of course they're going to fight. But guess what? They can have another job. They can grow pot or hemp.
Yeah.
So we need some hemp growers. The lungs of the earth need to be regrown. Put the hemp in and let it grow. Jesus, let's have some oxygen back into our depleted atmosphere. And let's stop seizures, and let's stop blindness, and let's stop pain, and let's stop opiate addiction, and let's stop overdose from heroin and pills and morphine because the pain is intractable and they won't let them have pot. How crazy is that? We can end suffering just by widespread use of marijuana. Come on. Give us a break. So, politics, I don't want to run again, but I'm definitely going to endorse the candidate that will free the herb in every race.
So on the presidential level, who do you support?
Bernie Sanders.
He just came out yesterday and said he's for legalizing marijuana, the first major party candidate to ever come out and say he's for legalizing marijuana.
He's got my vote. Come on, baby, let's go. He's going to ace out Hillary on this shit, And I always knew he was favorable, but then he came out of it and said, let's go. Well, come on. Let's go, Bernie. You just won 70% of America. 90% of America, between 78 and 90% of Americans in every state now support medical use of marijuana. Everywhere. And we got pretty high percentages, close to 50% to 75% for legalization everywhere else, too. So 44% is like, low for supporting legalization in general. It's done. We won. So let's go, Bernie. I think it's fabulous. And I think it's not a ploy. I think it's the real deal. I think he's got balls. And so maybe this will change the structure of the Democratic Party. Maybe they'll adopt legalization as a plank and sweep all the Republicans out of office. Or the Republicans could do the same thing. They could adopt legalization and sweep the Democrats out of office. I'm going to vote for the guy that says legalize it. Well, Bernie's got my vote.
All right. In any other endorsements you want to give us?
Any other endorsements?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
People, your local Malu.
No, we're having just a nice little school board thing here. So.
I heard your Lieutenant Governor Gavin, what's his last name? Gavin
Newsom.
Something or other.
Yes,
so
Gavin Newsom
is strongly in favor of legalization.
Yes, I know Gavin Newsom. He is, and if he's running for governor, he's got my vote, definitely. Gavin's a good man, and he supports legalization. He's always known the truth. He was a friend of Dennis Peron's in the old days because we had this terrible crisis, a medical crisis in San Francisco and Marin that had to be addressed. And Dennis, taught me about the Compassion Club, and I came from the original staff from the original Compassion Club on Church Street. One of the acolytes. And Dennis helped sponsor me, getting into School Street Plaza, where I was for 16 and a half years.
All right.
Yeah.
So if people want to hook up with you, what's the best way to do it? On the internet.
Facebook.
You got an email or a website to point them to?
Yes, Marin Alliance for Medical Marijuana on Facebook. I'm going to revive that page. I've had it as a marker here for several years. And I'm actually on there posting things again. And my the email to contact me is CBC Marin Alliance that's what stands for Cannabis Buyers Club, CBC, Marin Alliance, at gmail.com. And I'm talking to investors, I'm talking to volunteers, I'm talking to lawyers, I'm talking to politicians. I'm happy to be back, because this is my job, is to, communicate and figure out a plan that solves a big problem. So my plans are working.
We
solved a big problem, didn't we?
Yeah, a huge one.
Yeah.
Congratulations again.
Thank you. I'm a very good strategist, I have to admit.
Good work. And persistent. Persistent wins in the end, as long as we can survive that long.
And a hell of a lawyer like Greg Anton. And Sam Johnson.
That always
and Larry
helps.
Bragdon. And everybody who helped along the way, man.
Well, we are down to the last few minutes of the big broadcast. Lynnette, you want to give a shout-out to your URL or one more time?
Okay, Facebook.com/Marin Alliance for Medical Marijuana. It's been up there for a while, but I'm back on there because I'm back into the world. The veil has been lifted. The stranglehold has been taken off of me. And email is cbcmarinalliance@gmail.com. And I need volunteers. I need investors, and I need friends to give me a little thumbs up, because I'm happy to be able to speak with everyone again and be part of the movement that I love so much.
And, Paul, you and I do a television show every Friday night that you founded about 18 years ago, was it?
We're over 19 years now. We've started our 20th year. October 15th was our very first show way back in 1996. And so I think this week's show will be number 810.
Wow.
Woo-hoo! Wow.
And
810 hours of television. What more can you say?
Well, you can say you can say to people how they can find those archives and how they can listen to it.
Ustream.tv if you want to watch it live every Friday night at 8 o'clock Pacific time. Or if you want to find us on YouTube, you can go to youtube.com. I think it's /user/Will Appel. Or you could just search for Cannabis Common Sense, or one of the easiest ways is to just enter hemp.org. HEMP.org is our portal to all the stuff that I do these days. And so hemp.org is the bottom line portal address.
And I want to remind people that Time for Hemp is a growing broadcasting network with a large team of broadcasters that are trying to get the message out about how important it is to end prohibition. Mark Emery is a broadcaster on the network. So is Skunk Magazine, Judge James Gray, Paul Stanford, myself, Chris Conrad. There's a long list that you can find at timeforhemp.com. All the programs that we produce are archived on the Broadcasting Network's website. We've also got a brand new monthly zine out this week, usually out the third week of each month, that you can download for free, print out, and pass out at some of your upcoming events if you'd like to. We've also got Time for Hemp Roku TV that you can check out now and enjoy. And, of course, we got the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network that is focused on ending prohibition. And remember, the next time you hear me, you'll know that it's time for hemp.
Look at all that money, yeah, the money that they spent. Take another look and spend some time for hemp. Don't cut trees for paper, 'cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yes.
Since 1990, over 9 million people have broken the rules and got arrested for pot. That's more than the population combined from Alaska, Montana, Wyoming, and even Vermont. Man, that sure seems like a lot. In 2005, over 750,000 American citizens got busted with weed. What burns holes in my tent is 86% were arrested for possession. But what I can't believe is one of those people was me. So what can we do about legalization but rally around and reform legislation that state our position and make it our mission? A change in the law is what we need. It's time we legalize weed. Chief Greenbud is spouting about prison overcrowding, using words like reform, rally, and change. Why should we do time for a victimless crime? Marijuana isn't evil, but it's taking the blame. Don't you think that it's time for a change? So what can we do about legalization but rally around and reform legislation that state our position and make it our mission? A change in the law is what we need. It's time we legalize weed. Let's make it our mission, state our position. Change in the law is what we need. It's time we legalize weed. Yeah, it's time we legalize weed.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.